Today we are going to look at the different types of energy transfers: conduction, convection, and radiation. We will first start with conduction. Conduction is a transfer of heat or thermal energy by touching. It occurs in solids. It is a transfer of heat from the warmer part of an object to the cooler part of the same object. For example, if you have a pot that is on the stove, it's going to get hot on the surface that's touching the burner, and that will continue to move to the cooler part of the pot that is up at the top. It can also be transferred from a hotter object to a cooler object. Refer back to the picture. On the picture, the metal spoon was leaning up against the metal pot. That metal spoon will become hot because that heat will be transferred from the hot pot to the cold spoon.
Metallic solids are good conductors, while most non-metallic solids, liquids and gases are poor conductors, also known as insulators. A metal frying pan is an example of a good conductor. If you touch the metal part, you will notice it's very hot. That is why the frying pan handles are made out of wood, to better insulate the heat.
Convection. Take a look at this picture. What do you think convection means? All right. Convection, unlike conduction, occurs in liquids and gases. It is the transfer of heat through the movement of particles. Warm particles rise, cool particles fill in the space below. So this is a circular motion. Think about a house. Have you ever noticed that maybe upstairs or in an attic it gets warmer? That's because the warm air rises, and it's usually colder downstairs.
A convection tube filled with water is clamped to a tripod. A Bunsen burner is set at one corner of the convection tube. At the top of the tube, place a tiny pinch of powdered potassium manganate and watch what happens. At the corner of the convection tube, water is heated. The particles in hotter fluid move around faster because they have more kinetic energy. At the same time, they expand, and the same amount of particles take up more space. Therefore, the fluid becomes less dense than the surrounding and rises into the colder areas, where denser fluid falls into warmer areas. This way, a convection current is formed. This is what's being shown by the convection tube. Some examples of convections are heaters, boiling water in a pan, wind currents, and the Earth's mantle.
Radiation. Take a look at the picture and decide what you think radiation means. It is a transfer of energy as waves, and it travels through matter or empty space. So radiation, what we usually think about is the sun. The earth is warm because the rays from the sun are traveling through matter and casting the heat to the earth.
All objects give out and take in thermal radiation. For most bodies on Earth, this radiation lies in the infrared region of the electromagnetic spectrum. Unlike the processes of conduction and convection, thermal radiation can move into empty space without requiring an intervening medium and can take place in a vacuum. This is why we can still feel the heat of the sun, although it is 150 million kilometers away from the Earth. All bodies are able to emit and absorb thermal energy in the form of infrared rays. When the absorption of energy is greater than the emission of energy, the temperature of the object